All right, who are y'all?
Hey.
Give your names.
All right, I'm Sean.
I'm Val.
I'm Chris.
Madison.
And that's
I
Madison.
butt out my mom by accident.
My name's Mohammed Easmael, and this is CapSwag.
All right, we have Mohammed here from CapSwag doing a little interview here.
First of all, I want to start by saying I've watched your videos, bro. I'm a fan. All right, I'm a fan in the fact that you take something as crazy as installing LED lights and make it cool to watch, man. You've done some really cool things, and that's kind of the reason why I reached out to you. I'm a fan of the content that you create and the way that you tell the story, and it's good to know you, man. It really is. I appreciate you coming in and, you know, putting a camera in my face. Very cool to know you, man.
What was the point where you pivoted and said, I got to do this?
There's clearly a point where I pivoted in my life to say that I got to do this. The reason why I started my own business was because it was out of necessity. Hey, I didn't think it was cool to do this. I thought it was something that I needed to do. Actually, I dropped out of school because I couldn't afford to go to college. My parents were going through some financial problems. Long story, we're not going to get into that, but the bottom line is I couldn't afford to go to school, so I had to make a decision about how I was going to move forward with my life. Honestly, even if I would have stayed in school early, I was a pretty shitty student, so it wasn't like I was setting the world on fire and I left school, you know, cry me a river kind of thing. I was bad at school my whole life, and then I left school because I had no idea what I was going to do with it, with my education, so I quit. I dropped out of college my freshman year of college, and then I hooked up. I got a job working for Nextel, and I hooked up with a buddy of mine at Nextel. He was my manager, and we just got to know each other. The work ethic was good, you know. There was a vibe, there was an energy working with this guy. And about a year later, you know, we sat down. And he was like, "Listen, we can't just keep working for Nextel the rest of our lives. We got to kind of do something for ourselves." So we started a business together. 2 years later, you know, his health deteriorated a bit. I bought out his side of the business out of necessity, and I continued that business for a few years. Then I went back to school, got my degree. I come from a Middle Eastern background. If you don't have a degree, no matter what you do in life, you'll never be whole. So I got my degree, and then right around the time that my oldest daughter, my first daughter, was being born, I had to make another life decision. And this is where I thought I could do it. So this is why I'm here. It looks like it's worked out so far. I'll keep you posted on the progress of that, but so far so good.
I also watch your content.
All right.
I listen to what you say.
Okay, good.
There's
all of it, even the embarrassing stuff.
Every bit, even the spit drooling out of your mouth. Yeah. So the thing for me that I really appreciate is how you tell a story about every store that you open, about when you're changing your storefront, when you're redoing your store.
Right.
Tell me more about that process in a different way than you've said it in your other videos.
When I started telling the stories of how we would open a store, we would build it out, we would design it, and I would take people through it, I kind of did that, you know, because I thought that's what I needed to do for some reason in my business in order to move on and move over to the next level. But as I was doing that, you know, an interesting thing happened. It started becoming like a form of therapy, like a mental therapy for me along the way. Like I started feeling like a liberation by just being like, here it is. And then when I would get these comments, these messages, you know, just people kind of engaging, I was like, man, you know, this is pretty cool. People actually care about what I do. So that to me was a big deal, because every time we open up this door, every time we open up a new store, we invest all this time and effort and money, there's no guarantee this is gonna work out. We could just open a store and it could be a flop, and we could shut it down, and, you know, and it could be not a good thing, you know, for lack of a better term, you know. But it's a therapy for me to get to that point. 2 weeks before I open a store, I literally can't sleep at night until that door is open. You know, I'm like tunnel vision. I don't think about it until 2 weeks before we open. 2 weeks before we open, I'm thinking about it every night. So while I'm documenting it, what I do is actually, I'm able to go back and look at the whole process because I'm going through it so fast. I'm not even thinking about things. I'm designing, I'm meeting with contractors, electricians, plumbers, whatever it is. I'm not even thinking about it. I don't even get to enjoy it until after it's open, and hopefully it works and it doesn't, you know, end up in a bankruptcy. So, yeah, what I do with the telling of the story is really, at some point it was for people to watch, but at this point in my life is really for me to watch. I like watching the story of how we opened store A, store B, store C, and the challenges that happen there. Actually, it's a form of therapy, man, for me. You know, I don't pay a therapist, I just make videos, I guess.
Every video that someone makes, you improve.
Yeah.
Have you noticed your marketing ability improving as a result of being a content creator?
1,000%. I couldn't agree more. Every question you're asking me right now is 1,000%. That question in particular, when you start creating content and you start documenting it and making it a utility type format, like it creates some kind of value for yourself or for other people, it no longer becomes a marketing tool. It becomes something, it's a useful product that you're putting out. So when I'm recording and I'm like documenting my process of how I open these stores, it becomes a utility for me. The utility for me, one of the utilities is a form of therapy. The other utility is I document, I get to watch it later and figure out what my mistakes are, what I could have done better. The other utility is people get to see that and say, hey, you know what, if this guy can do it, I can do it. Why can't I do it if he can? So my marketing went from initially putting up product and just hammering and putting up product and putting that on social media and getting people to look at it and click like and whatever the case may be, to why are we even doing that? Are we connecting with people, yes or no? And if not, well, what's the point of whatever it is that we're doing with marketing? So now it's like, it's really a connection-driven approach to how we market. That's it.
Well, I got tons more questions.
Oh shit.
I could probably be here for an hour.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. I'll come back
Listen,
again.
man, I have a feeling
I'm not going to be a stranger.
I have a feeling our conversation's not going to end here.
No. Not going to end for sure.
Yeah.
So you have something for me and I have something for you.
Yeah.
So let's show that.
First of all, yours is a little cooler. I'm going to be honest. All right, well, you caught me off guard, so I had to pull something out of my back pocket. Thank you for the shirt, man. I'm gonna rock this. I'm gonna get you a picture. And you do it sticker is going on the computer. Everybody that comes into the store, I support people that support me, man. Everybody that comes into the store is gonna see this thing. It's gonna be on our computer, on our POS systems. But I got something for you, bro. You're an honorary member of the team now, all right?
CapSwag member right here, representing.
Right. You are an honorary member of the team. We've always wanted you on. Now you're on.
Thank you so much.
I need a solid videographer slash Siemens. What were you doing for Siemens?
I was Siemens R&D, software engineer.
Siemens R&D, perfect. I don't know where that would fit in our organization yet, but that would fit somewhere.
Well, I can write an iPad app. And
there you go.
I can do it all.
There you go. That's all.